was the chairman of drafting committee of Indian Constitution? So there was some technical error. Starting again. Who was the chairman of drafting committee of Indian Constitution? Now let us understand one thing. We'll be able to solve, let's say, 10 questions around this. So now just listen. 1930, है ना, 26th January 1930, the Congress used to meet every year, right, in its annual meetings. So the Congress met at Lahore, right? When it met, demanding for पूर्ण स्वराज और complete independence. मैंने अभी बता रखा है dominion और complete independence में difference. So now the question rose: Indians were to regulate or rule themselves. What, like, who's gonna rule them? Which book? What sort of constitution? So it was in the year 1934. So there was this very senior politician by the name M.N. Roy, who was from the Communist Party of India. In the year 1934, M.N. Roy became the first Indian who demanded a Constituent Assembly for India. Who demanded a Constituent Assembly for India. When I say Constituent Assembly, what do I mean? See, so the Constitution is a law, or the mother law of any country, to which every citizen is bound to. Everyone has to follow the Constitution, mother law of the country, which can also be called as Grundnorm. Grundnorm, मतलब सारे laws में सबसे बड़ा law. So now, so if one wants to have a constitution for themselves, there has to be someone who has to write the constitution, है ना? So there are two types of constitutions in the world. One is your written constitution, and one is your unwritten constitution. When I say unwritten, I don't mean to say that the law is not written, but एक बार में there was never a time जब एक body बैठी और उसने एक किताब बना दिया and came to be called as the constitution. So it was all the laws that were passed by the parliament. तो धीरे धीरे laws pass होते गए, वही उनके constitution बन गए, right? But India और US के केस में क्या हुआ? There was a specific constituent assembly, a specific body sitting to draft the constitution. मतलब समझ में आ गया what is a constituent assembly? Constituent assembly is required to draft the constitution of any country, and if it is drafted by a body, it will be called as a written constitution. The reason why India and US are supposed to have a written constitution, while Britain there is unwritten constitution. यहाँ से ही concept समझ लेंगे constitutional supremacy और parliamentary supremacy का. अब इंडिया में एक बुक है ना जो सबको रेगुलेट कर रही है, hence the constitution is supreme. Countries like India and US, while in Britain any such law that is passed by the parliament has this backing of constitution, वही बन गया constitution. Hence the parliament is supreme there. The concept of parliamentary. I hope you are understanding it. So now there was this demand of Constituent Assembly for India by M.N. Roy. Now this demand was formally accepted by the Indian National Congress also. So now this demand for a Constituent Assembly became a nationwide demand, right? कि हमें अपना कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को ड्राफ्ट करना है. अभी तो ब्रिटिश इस पे शांत रहते हैं, बट इट वाज इन द ईयर 1939 to 45 that there was World War II. So now the Britishers wanted Indians to support them in the war. Support चाहिए ना Britishers को, support them the war. तो अब support चाहिए तो you have to give something in return, है ना? तो Britishers ने क्या promise किया? So the Britishers promised Indians that we will help you, or we'll let you make a constituent assembly which will ultimately make the constitution of India. And this demand of Indians was accepted by the August offer of 1940. But it was only in the year 1946 that a cabinet mission plan was sent to India. क्यों भेजा गया था cabinet mission plan? That the Indians could have their own constituent assembly. समझ में आया? अभी now why are we focusing on constituent assembly? Because constituent assembly is the body that will make the constitution of India. इसीलिए constituent assembly पे questions आते हैं. अब पूरा constituent assembly had 389 members, out of which 30 members, like to be specific, 96 members left. Why? Because cabinet mission plan came before India was divided. Certain people had to leave to make the Pakistani constitution. So all in all याद रखो कि लगभग इतने लोग हैं. So 300 people cannot make the law, right? Cannot make the constitution. सब थोड़ी बैठेंगे साथ में. So these people delegated, अपना काम दे दिया, delegated their work drafting committee, draft लिखते हैं जो. So now this drafting committee had 7 members at its disposal. पूरी टीम 7 लोग थे. And this drafting committee was headed by B.R. Ambedkar ji. B.R. Ambedkar ji. So now the question is, who was the chairman of drafting committee of Indian Constitution? Answer is B.R. Ambedkar. Questions हम बहुत सारे solve कर लेंगे इसी information, right? चलो moving on to the next question.